The first thing I noticed about her eyes was that they didn't reflect light the way human eyes do. They absorbed it. We were sitting across from each other in the lower observation lounge of Port Helios, a massive space station floating at the edge of known human territory. Outside the transparent alloy window, stars drifted like slow-burning embers. Inside, the station hummed with 1,000 species pretending they weren't afraid of one another. She sat perfectly still, hands folded, posture calm but alert. To anyone else, she looked almost human, slender frame, smooth skin with a faint pearlescent sheen, dark hair cascading down her shoulders. But her eyes were wrong in a way that made it impossible to look away. They were deep violet, threaded with faint, moving patterns, like constellations rearranging themselves. Without thinking, I said it. "Your eyes are beautiful." The words slipped out casually, the way compliments often do when you don't expect them to matter. But everything changed. She blinked once, slowly. Her fingers tightened together. The ambient noise of the lounge seemed to dull, as if the station itself leaned in to listen. Then she leaned forward, her voice dropping to a whisper meant only for me. "Can I show you something?" I should have said no. Beginning, the first lie. My name is Eli Carter, and I was a cultural liaison for the United Earth Coalition. A fancy title for a simple job. Talk to aliens, smooth misunderstandings, make sure nobody starts an interstellar war over body language or idioms. Port Helios was my assignment for 6 months. It was a neutral hub where species traded, negotiated, and observed one another under strict non-aggression treaties. Everything here was regulated, speech patterns, gestures, even eye contact. Which is why her reaction confused me. "Show me what?" I asked carefully. She hesitated, then glanced around the lounge. No one seemed to be paying attention. Humans, Celt traders, a pair of floating Zeri diplomats engrossed in a hologram. "Not here," she said. "And not unless you truly wish to know." I studied her face. There was no threat in her expression. No manipulation. Just gravity. As if the universe itself had paused, waiting on my answer. "I want to know," I said. She nodded once. "My name is Salith," she replied, "and what I will show you cannot be unseen." We left the lounge and walked through quieter corridors, descending into an older, restricted wing of the station, sections abandoned after early expansions. The lights dimmed. The hum of life faded. Finally, we stopped before an unmarked door. Salith placed her hand against the panel. The metal shimmered and parted silently. Inside, there was nothing. No furniture. No technology. Just darkness. "Step inside," she said. I hesitated for half a second. Then I did. The door closed behind us. Middle. The truth beneath sight. The darkness didn't last. At first, faint lights flickered around us, pinpricks in the void. Then more. Then countless. I realized with a jolt that I wasn't seeing a projection. I was seeing through something. Salith stood in front of me, but she wasn't alone anymore. Her form shifted, not physically, but perceptually, like my brain was finally accessing a layer of reality it had always ignored. Her eyes flared with brilliance. The room dissolved. Suddenly, I was standing in a vast, endless expanse where stars were not distant suns, but living structures. Threads of energy connected them, weaving an intricate lattice across infinity. "What is this?" I whispered. "This is the underlying truth," Salith said, her voice echoing from everywhere and nowhere. "The structure beneath your universe." I turned to her, or tried to. She was no longer humanoid. Her true form unfolded like a thought-given shape, a being of shifting geometry and light, elegant and terrifying. Not monstrous, just vast. "You're not My throat tightened. You're not from anywhere I understand. No, she agreed gently. My people exist partially outside linear reality. We see patterns where you see moments. I staggered, overwhelmed. Why show me this? I asked. Why me? She regarded me with those impossible eyes. Because you noticed, she said. And because you chose curiosity over fear. The stars around us pulsed, and images flooded my mind. I saw humanity's history, not as events, but as ripples. Wars created fractures in the lattice. Love created bridges. Fear collapsed entire branches of possibility. I saw first contact with alien species, not as chance meetings, but as inevitabilities drawn together by gravitational resonance of consciousness. This isn't how it's taught, I said hoarsely. We're told the universe is random. Salith's presence softened. That is the first lie intelligent species tell themselves, she said. Randomness is comforting. Purpose is frightening. The vision shifted. I saw Port Helios from above, not as metal and corridors, but as a knot in the cosmic lattice. Every being inside it glowed faintly, connected by threads of interaction, intention, and emotion. Humans glowed weakly. Your species blinds itself, Salith continued. You limit perception to survive. But your minds are capable of more. A terrible realization dawned. You're not just observing us, I said. You're waiting. Yes, she replied. For one of you to truly see. The vision collapsed. Darkness returned. Then the room. I fell to my knees, gasping, my heart hammering like it might escape my chest. Salith knelt beside me, now appearing human again. You should not remember all of it, she said softly. Your mind will seal much away, but the seed remains. I looked up at her, shaking. You showed me the truth, I said. Why does it feel like a burden? She smiled sadly. Because truth demands choice. The consequences. After that night, everything changed. I started noticing patterns, small ones at first. Conversations repeating across different species. Events aligning too perfectly to be coincidence. I dreamed of the lattice. I began questioning reports, treaties, the coalition's assumptions about alien motivations. My superiors noticed. Eli, my director said during a closed-door briefing, you've become difficult. I've become honest, I replied. That was my second mistake. Salith warned me. They will resist, she said when we met again in secret. Every system built on partial truth does. Then why tell me? I demanded. Why not let us stay ignorant? Because your species stands at a threshold, she said. Soon, you will either awaken or destroy the pathways entirely. The coalition didn't want awakening. They wanted control. When they discovered Salith's true nature, through surveillance anomalies, energy readings, unexplained data, they classified her as an existential threat. Orders were issued. Detain. Study. Contain. I helped her escape. Alarms blared through Port Helios as we ran through service tunnels, the station shaking with lockdown protocols. You'll be hunted, I shouted over the noise. So will you, she replied calmly. At the final airlock, she stopped. This is where I leave you, she said. I stared at her in disbelief. You can't just go, I said. You showed me all this, changed everything, and now you leave? She stepped closer, placing her hand over my chest. I did not choose you to follow me, she said. I chose you to stay. Her eyes glowed faintly. The truth does not need messengers, she continued. It needs anchors. Then she was gone, phasing out of local reality like a dream waking itself up.